Welcome to Mysteries and Crime, where we explore the world's most haunting mysteries. Today, we delve into one of the most baffling and chilling unsolved crimes in history, the Hinterkaifeck Murders. Hidden within this story is a clue-based question for you to unravel. Here it is. What was the eerie discovery made in the farm's attic just days before the murders? Share your answer in the comments below for a chance to be featured in next week's episode. Now, picture this. A remote Bavarian farmstead in 1922, surrounded by dense forests and rolling fields. The Gruber family lived in unsettling isolation, their lives a mix of hard work and routine. 6 members of the family, including a 7-year-old child, were brutally murdered in a manner so calculated and grim that it continues to haunt investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike. Their lifeless bodies were found stacked neatly in the barn, an eerie tableau that spoke of both methodical planning and chilling detachment. Over a century later, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain an enigma, with theories ranging from familial betrayal to supernatural intervention. How could such a horrific crime occur, and why has it never been solved? Stay with us as we unravel the events, evidence, and lingering mysteries of this chilling case. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your theories below. In 1922, the Hinterkaifeck farm was home to Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and her 2 children. Located near the small town of Grosserlach, the farm was isolated, with neighbors living miles away. This isolation added to the eerie atmosphere surrounding the case. Days before the murders, Andreas reported hearing strange noises in the attic and finding unfamiliar footprints leading to the house, but none leaving it. Despite this, the family dismissed the signs as paranoia. The chilling detail of these attic noises forms the heart of today's clue question. What was the eerie discovery made in the farm's attic just days before the murders? Imagine the fear they must have felt as every creak overhead brought an ominous sense of dread. The true horror began on March 31st, 1922, when the family failed to attend church. Neighbors grew concerned. A local mechanic, hired to fix machinery on the property, made the gruesome discovery. The barn, usually filled with the sounds of animals and farming tools, was unnervingly silent. Inside, he found the bodies of Andreas, Cecilia, Victoria, and her daughter, stacked on top of each other under hay. The maid, Maria Baumgartner, and Victoria's youngest child were found dead inside the house. Each victim had been struck with a heavy, blunt object believed to be a mattock. The silence of the farm was shattered by the gruesome scene, a sight so horrifying that even seasoned investigators struggled to process it. The crime scene was both horrifying and perplexing. Despite the brutality of the murders, investigators noted that the livestock had been fed, and the chimney showed signs of recent use, suggesting the killer stayed on the property after the murders. The level of composure and chilling care displayed by the perpetrator was unlike anything the investigators had encountered. Initial examinations revealed no signs of theft or robbery, leaving investigators to focus on personal motives. This, combined with the strange attic noises reported earlier, deepened the mystery. Who would do such a thing and why? As the news spread, the community was gripped with fear and speculation. The Gruber family, while secluded, was not unknown. Andreas was a stern and unkind figure, a man who made enemies easily. Rumors of an incestuous relationship between him and Victoria cast a dark shadow over the family's reputation. The sensational nature of the crime attracted widespread media attention, but despite significant public interest, early leads quickly went cold. The isolated farm became a symbol of both horror and fascination, its name forever tied to a night of unspeakable violence. To understand the impact of the crime, we must look at the victims. Andreas Gruber was known for his harshness, both in his dealings with others and in his treatment of his family. Yet beneath this unyielding exterior, there was a family struggling to survive on the farm. Victoria was a young widow, resilient and devoted to her children. Neighbors often spoke of her singing voice, which resonated through the quiet countryside, a rare joy in the otherwise austere atmosphere of Hinterkaifeck. Maria Baumgartner, the family's new maid, had arrived just hours before her untimely death, adding a tragic twist to her brief connection to the household. Her story, though short, became one of many poignant threads in this tragedy. The Hinterkaifeck farm itself was secluded and surrounded by dense woods, amplifying the sense of isolation. The silence of the area was often broken only by the sounds of animals or the occasional visitor. This remoteness was both a sanctuary and a vulnerability, as it made the family easy targets. Bavaria, in the early 20th century, was a place of cultural and societal tension, with economic struggles and lingering effects of World War I creating an undercurrent of unease. These societal strains, coupled with the family's isolation, painted a stark picture of vulnerability. Imagine a place where the nearest help was hours away, and even the faintest noise could signal danger. Reconstructing the timeline of events reveals haunting details. On March 29th, neighbors noticed unusual activity on the farm. Victoria had mentioned hearing footsteps in the attic, but Andreas dismissed her concerns. The family's dog was found tied up outside, barking incessantly. On the day of the murders, a passerby reportedly saw smoke rising from the chimney, unaware of the horror within. After the bodies were discovered, investigators pieced together that the killer had lured the family to the barn one by one, starting with Andreas. The meticulous stacking of the bodies suggested a level of planning that baffled authorities. Who could perform such calculated brutality? The details of that fateful night continue to send shivers down the spine of anyone who studies the case. The investigation faced numerous challenges. With limited forensic tools, authorities relied heavily on witness statements and circumstantial evidence. Early theories pointed to Victoria's estranged lover or Andreas's enemies. However, conflicting testimonies and lack of concrete evidence stalled progress. The crime scene's contamination by curious onlookers further complicated the case. Over time, suspects emerged, including Victoria's former suitor, Lorenz Schlittenbauer, who had a contentious relationship with the family. His behavior, particularly his calm demeanor during the discovery, raised suspicions. Some theorized he was too familiar with the scene, as though he knew what he would find. Yet, without definitive proof, he remained free. Key evidence, such as the matic and the mysterious attic noises, became the focus of forensic analysis. Despite their efforts, investigators couldn't conclusively tie any suspect to the murders. Witness statements added to the confusion. Neighbors spoke of strange men lurking near the farm days before the crime, but their descriptions varied. The ambiguity of these accounts only deepened the enigma, leaving investigators with more questions than answers. Theories about the Hinterkaifeck murders abound. Some believe a family member sought revenge, possibly linked to the rumors of incest. Others argue that a drifter or soldier, displaced after World War I, may have been responsible. A fringe theory suggests supernatural forces, citing the eerie attic noises and the calculated nature of the murders. Was it a ghostly entity avenging a past wrong, or simply a human consumed by dark desires? What do you think? Could the killer have been someone known to the family, or was it a complete stranger? Share your thoughts below. Media coverage played a significant role in shaping public perception. Sensational headlines and dramatic retellings often blurred the line between fact and speculation. Some reporters exaggerated details, such as the extent of the family's dysfunction, to sell papers. This sensationalism not only misled the public, but also hindered the investigation. The press's portrayal of Andreas as a villain and Victoria as a tragic victim created a narrative that influenced public opinion for decades. The media frenzy turned Hinterkaifeck into a macabre symbol of rural horror. The case never reached court, as no arrests were made. However, its legacy influenced procedural changes in rural law enforcement, particularly regarding the preservation of crime scenes. Decades later, new evidence occasionally surfaces, reigniting interest in the case, but the murders remain officially unsolved. In 2007, German forensic experts attempted to apply modern methods to the case, identifying possible suspects, but their findings were kept confidential out of respect for living relatives. Unanswered questions linger. Why did the killer stay on the farm? Was there an accomplice? Could advancements in forensic technology finally uncover the truth? Experts continue to analyze the case, offering fresh perspectives. Yet, the mystery endures. The attic noises, unexplained footprints, and chilling behavior of the killer remain points of contention and fascination for investigators and enthusiasts alike. Psychological insights into the killer's behavior suggest a mix of calculated planning and emotional instability. The decision to remain on the property after the murders hints at either arrogance or desperation. Investigators also noted the killer's meticulousness in cleaning the murder weapon and feeding the livestock. This duality, cold calculation paired with an almost domestic routine, paints a chilling portrait of the perpetrator. Culturally, the Hinterkaifeck Murders have left an indelible mark, inspiring books, films, and documentaries. The case serves as a cautionary tale about the vulnerabilities of isolation and the complexities of human relationships. Its influence is evident in true crime communities, where discussions about the case remain lively. Forensics at the time lacked the sophistication of modern methods, which might have solved the case. Today, DNA analysis or advanced profiling could provide answers. The limitations of 1920s technology highlight how far investigative techniques have come. It is tantalizing to think about what modern tools might uncover if they could be applied to this haunting case. Unsolved leads, such as the unexplored footprints and attic noises, haunt investigators and enthusiasts alike. Some argue these clues hold the key to solving the mystery. Could a lost document or forgotten testimony shed light on the killer's identity? Or is the truth buried forever under layers of hay and history? Comparing the Hinterkaifeck murders to similar cases, such as the Villisca axe murders in the U.S., reveals intriguing parallels. Both crimes involved isolated families and brutal attacks with an axe-like weapon. Could there be a connection, or are these similarities coincidental? Perhaps such cases underscore a universal darkness that occasionally manifests in human behavior. As we conclude, let's revisit today's clue question. What was the eerie discovery made in the farm's attic just days before the murders? Share your answer in the comments below for a chance to be featured next week. The Hinterkaifeck murders remind us of the fragile line between safety and danger and the enduring quest for justice. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.